Hi, I'm Rebecca Adams. I'm a life and business coach. I really hone in on my expertise is mindset. So I'm very big on mindset. So I like what you were saying before about the...
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Marnie, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Marnie, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Radio show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate. I am here alone. Damonn isn't here right now. Our guest will be arriving shortly. Today we will be interviewing two of many authors from the African Americans Authors and Empowerment Expo that will be happening this October at Morgan State University. So definitely stay tuned for that. Stay locked into that. Stay locked in for more information for that. We'll post the flyer and such on our website. Not on our website, on our Artist Exchange page, so you'll be able to go to it and find information on the latest guests. They always have a surprise guest, so you're not gonna find that out probably until like October. But last year's surprise guest was actually Prodigy from Mobb Deep and Freeway. So you never know who's going to show up to that Authors and Empowerment Expo. Shout out to Patricia Johnson, author Patricia Johnson. You can follow her on Facebook at author Patricia Johnson. If you're interested in becoming one of the authors that will be able to demonstrate and display their work, definitely hit her up. I'll have her information on the shortly too. She'll be coming on shortly, hopefully, to promote the event probably later in the summer. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's an awesome full day of meeting authors, doing readings. They have workshops on how to publish your work, on some empowerment also. So there's a number of writing workshops, so on and so forth. And then you get to meet the actual authors, and it was a whole bunch of them. I think it was like over 70 last year. So stay tuned for that. If you are an author, you have a book that you want to promote, definitely hit them up. If you're looking for interesting and non-traditional ways to promote your work and promote your business, definitely hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. We have some awesome packages for individuals and companies and businesses and brands to help you promote and further promote and push and expand your reach with a very eclectic blend of listeners that we have here at Big Exposed Radio. Your ad doesn't just run through the Artist Exchange show, but we have a number of shows that yet your either commercial or your ad or your sponsorship will definitely reach. So come on over. Our prices are very reasonable. Hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. If you're looking to become a radio personality, if you already have a show or you're kind of between ideas, hit me up. I help you to bring your show onto a radio platform here at Be Exposed. So you can hit me up directly at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, or you can send us a message to our station email box at info@beexposedradio.com. So stay locked in, stay tuned in. We have an interesting show coming up. Stay tuned for the next couple months. We'll have some interesting guests coming on the show. I believe next weekend I'll have Miss Cheryl Weems. She is a minister. I used to go to church with her. Phenomenal, inspirational, just impactful young lady. The 29th of this month, I'm going to have all of Dumore, Baltimore in the building. Kenneth, Lady Breon, Shinya, Black Chakra, Grimm, probably a couple more of them will join us. I've been honored to be a part of their summer program that they give each summer called Maya Baraka Writing Institute. We're over at the old Lamel building off of Dukeland, and we're finishing up. We're kind of at the halfway point of the program, and it's a phenomenal program where there's a class for hip-hop, there's a class for poetry, there's a production class, and I've joined the team this year with acting. So young people get a great education in not only those areas, but in writing. So all of those classes, all of our classes have the perspective of being a writer. So if you are looking for a program that gives your child an experience that most times people that age don't get, where they're being paid to be artists, if your young person signs up through YouthWorks, they can put down our site as their location, or you can contact Do More Baltimore directly, and we'll help you be able to facilitate getting your young person in there. The ages are from like 14 to 21. So, and those are the ages for YouthWorks. But if your child isn't in YouthWorks, they don't necessarily have to be in YouthWorks. It's a free program. They don't have to pay to be a part of it, so they can definitely just hit Shinyear up, Unique, Do More Baltimore in general, and I'll have that information on how to get in touch with them for next year. The sooner you start planning, the better. I'm telling you. They have a limited amount of slots each year, so definitely hit them up. And it's a program that goes on for 5 weeks. Most programs now go 2-3 weeks. And I know 5 weeks is like an extra 2 weeks, but those extra 2 weeks mean a difference between you having something for your young person to do or not. Specifically, your teenagers that you're interested in furthering their creative flow. If they have an interest in poetry, if they have an interest in being an MC or a hip-hop artist, if they have an interest in being an actor, if they want to learn curating, promoting the arts, event planning, there is a class for them. And this was the first year where they offered all 4 of them, and I'm quite sure there's going to be more coming next year. So definitely stay locked in, stay tuned in for that. It's an awesome program, a phenomenal exchange of artistry, and they get to perform live. There's a program coming up on July the 28th that kind of sums up their experience at Maya Baraka Writing Institute. And definitely stay tuned, stay locked in for more information. If you saw, I've been posting our live during their, like this past Friday, they had a open mic series where all the young people got to go up there and either perform something that they have been working on or perform something from their own arsenal. So definitely stay locked in. It was phenomenal. But again, that's the Maya Baraka Writing Institute. So I have a couple stories via Miss Kara Smoot. Speaking of poets, arts and culture news today. American teenagers are using slam poetry to make sense of Trump. And that's no big, I'm not saying it's no big deal, but it's not a new phenomenon. But young people specifically are getting into the politics of it all. And they're giving a lot of information on what they feel. They're letting their feelings and their solutions be heard by way of slam poetry. Given the instant pace of the internet and the antics of current presidential administration, staying up to date with American current events can be exhausting, if not harrowing. Earlier this month, after former FBI Director James Comey testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee, the web was buzzing with familiar hot takes and political predictions, mostly rehashing the same quotes and questions. A young poet by the name of Gordon IP, however, packaged his take on the breaking news differently, breathing new life into yesterday's news. So they're basically taking the headlines and putting their youthful spin on it. It's not a phenomenon. It's not a new thing. It's definitely something that has always been done. But young people are really at the forefront of it now. So it's definitely going beyond what is necessary. Yeah, this is crazy. Our latest story also, Shia LaBeouf apologizes for his racist comments during a recent arrest. As reported on CBS News, Shia LaBeouf, I don't know, after yesterday's conversation, I'm more open-minded to people's difference of opinion, but wrong is wrong. Shia LaBeouf says he is deeply ashamed of his behavior after a video showed him. Is it because the video showed him, or like just in general? He's apologetic of his behavior after a video showed him making racist remarks during his arrest for public drunkenness for the umpteenth time on past Saturday. The actor said on Twitter Wednesday that he was certain he owed an apology to the Savannah, Georgia officer who arrested him. He was really going in. If you watch the video, like, he wasn't holding back. And he goes on to say, my outright disrespect for authority, I think it's his outright disrespect for this black officer, is problematic to say the least and completely destructive to say the worst. It is a new low. A low, I hope, is a bottom. He said, I have been struggling with addiction publicly for far too long, and I am actively taking steps towards securing my sobriety and hope I can be forgiven for my mistakes. I am deeply ashamed of my behavior and make no excuses for it. I don't know if these statements are too frequent or not shared often enough, but I am certain that my actions warrant a very sincere apology to the arresting officer, and I'm grateful for their restraint. The severity of my behavior is not lost on me. My outright disrespect for authority is okay, so it just went back to it. So this was his statement that he made after his arrest. I guess after he paid his bail of $7,000, he was able to be taken out. The apology came after a video surfaced on TMZ of LaBeouf accusing a black officer of arresting him because he was white. He also told the officer he was going to hell, and when asked why, LaBeouf told the officer, because you're a black man. LaBeouf was arrested at 4 a.m. on Saturday by Savannah police officer and released on $7,000 bond. Later, per his arrest, he was also charged with disorderly conduct and obstruction. The actor is in Savannah shooting his new film, The Peanut Butter Falcon, which I think will not get any airtime at all. It's just sad how a lot of these artists are just able to apologize and things just go across because they're well known. And racism is racism, and I think slapping an apology on it makes sense. It's necessary, but it should not just be washed over. Like it just can't be at this point because you are a white man, you should not have the privilege of just apologize and do some public service and your career. Because there's a lot of black individuals have done similar crimes or equal heinous crimes, and they're still on a blacklist. And it's very shameful and it's very disrespectful to non-white individuals that are in the arts that suffer continuous backlash and blacklisting because of their actions, because of their words. It's just sad, it's sad, and I don't know what could be done about it other than just not hiring him and letting him feel it. Alcohol is a result of something else. So just to blame all of your issues on being drunk, those things are in you to say. So drunkenness just allowed it to come out. So I think you need to go a little bit deeper, LaBeouf, with your apology and shut your mouth. Just shut up. Or keep talking so we can really learn who you really are beyond this actor. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
So now we are in reactive mode. You know, with our young people, we don't spend enough time working with them, preparing them, inspiring them, mentoring them. And so now we're faced with a generation that's like, I'm going to do my own thing. Right. I have no respect for you. Because what have we done to help them except to say that, like I was telling the HL7, that, you know, I get highly upset when adults forget that they were ever young. And the first thing they say is young people are up to no good. You know, well, you're not helping them. What are you doing to inspire them? Right. So to me, that's reactive, because now that they're in the street cutting up, now you like, oh, we need to do something with our children, or we need to start schools earlier so we can get them off the street, or we need to do this. To me, that's reactive.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
6 years after he passed away.
It states she reportedly had heard rumors, but nothing substantial. But then you put the rumors to
while
death.
They were still married.
You sentenced the rumors to death.
While they still were married, she heard rumors.
Right.
Okay.
Or probably all her life she's heard rumors. Like, you're dating, you know you're dating your dad, right? I look just alike. I'm like, girl, somebody told me you dating your father. You know, that's what kind of thing. You know he gay, right, Percy?
Please, why are you laughing at him? Don't laugh at him. Please don't.
Okay, let me continue with the story.
Oh,
man. Even today, it's still funny. Oh my gosh, if you haven't heard this show, it's Talk Lately, and it's only on BeExposedRadio.com every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and on YouTube. Just go to Be Exposed
everybody,
Radio.
check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show. Now, here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details of how what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here
You
on
are
Be
listening
Exposed
to
Radio.
BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, we have live Mr. Michael Ryder. There we go. And Mr. Steve Yarn. They're doing a partnership based on, what was it again? The stories of the Vulcan Blazers. An awesome production that they have coming up. And now the name of it will be called Baltimore Heat. There we go. They were telling us a little bit about, they're in the pre-production phase of developing this Baltimore-based production. It seems like a really awesome idea. I always love for more artistic events to come here, and because it's more of an event because you guys are going to actually use Baltimore as your complete backdrop of the city, and that's very awesome to hear.
Yeah, we want people to fall in love with this project through the visions and the tales we're going to tell about these firefighters, but also we want them to fall in love with the city of Baltimore. Just like they did with Miami Vice and Chicago Fire and NYPD Blue and
Sex in the City,
and all these other places that have the city as a star as much as the artists and the actors are.
And that's Baltimore has for many years have been the backdrops of many movies. I could think of a few.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here, only on BeExposedRadio.com. I have, I made a post earlier, what was it, yesterday, I believe, and it was based on just customer service. Now, customer service doesn't necessarily mean you're at a cashier and you're ringing someone up. Customer service is based on any job where you have direct connection with the public. And I think it's problematic when you don't have the personality to deal with the public in general. You don't have the personality to deal with other coworkers. Like, you just don't. And I'm not saying you should deliver newspapers or be a mail person, but all those jobs still, like every job, you have to deal with somebody. Like at some point, you have to come across someone and be in their presence. So when I posted the post, I asked why. Why do you feel that people take jobs that don't match their personalities, jobs and careers? Because I know people who are awesome actors but don't get along with people. And even doing a one-man or one-woman show, you still have to deal with a crew of people. You still have to, at some point, come in contact with the people who came to see your work. So I just don't get how you put yourself in a space where you are in the public with people and you don't know how to deal with it. And it stemmed from Uber driver that I had Friday. Now, when I got in the Uber, he had his headset on. He was talking on his phone. Now, for me, I waited until his phone call was probably over, and I asked him, I said, I am not comfortable with you having both of your headsets in your ear. First of all, I had to tap him on his shoulder for him to be able to hear me, first of all. And I'm pretty loud enough, but he could not hear me, like, call his name. So the fact that you had earphones in your ear meant if something was happening outside of your peripheral, you would not hear it. So can you take those headsets off? And his attitude was horrible in that this is his car and he does what he wants. I said, well, while you are driving this Uber right now, as an Uber driver, you are now an employee. You're your own boss, but you're still working for somebody and you're driving someone that's paying you to take them from point A to point B. I don't feel comfortable with anybody on their phone. I don't care whether it's coming through your speakers, whether it's coming through a Bluetooth or however you hook it up. I don't feel comfortable with you talking to someone. I ain't gonna talk to you. I want you to focus on driving. I've been in enough accidents where that nerves me. Like I'm always on nerve about things, and I really I don't know how to not say it. I don't know how to communicate. I don't know how. I just don't know how. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this post, and this is not the place to ask those questions. Lekesa Cox, if you could call into the station or message us directly as the instructions were given, because the post is not the place to do that. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. But in going back to that, If you're not able to communicate with people effectively, and I'm teaching young people this summer on how to be professional artists and work in environments, because some people take jobs in the summertime just to get them through the summer, and they're not really equipped to and they're not ready or prepared, or they take the job as just a throwaway job. If this is just a throwaway job for you, don't take it, because you're doing people a disjustice. You're probably going to lose whatever company that is some money, or customers that come in there year round, just because you're there with a bad attitude. Don't take a job. And I've had jobs where I've had an attitude while I was there, because it wasn't something that I was supposed to be doing, and it really wasn't where I was supposed to be, and I just had an attitude. Now, I'm not justifying my attitude, but I'm clearly saying I got out of there because it wasn't for me. I'd rather struggle a little bit until I find something where I'm comfortable at. And it wasn't really me dealing with the public. It was just I wasn't happy with the job. So it reflected in my attitude when people approached me. And when I recognized that, I adjusted it in a moment. But I didn't stay at that job either, because it was a job for me. You know, and most times when you have a job, it gets to that point. The moment any friction happens, or when you're tired of it, it's reflective. Even if you're good at not saying anything and you can still be professional, most times it's still written on your face, it's in your body language, so on and so forth. So I would say to people, and I'm a big stickler for good customer service, definitely just know where you are. Be in a space where you're ready and you're able to be involved with people, and it really makes the difference. You know, and sometimes it's not necessarily you have an issue with the job or the career or where you are with your employment. It's normally something else may be going on, and it's just being reflected at work, and that's not professional, and you can't do that. You know, and you can't be mad when someone says you can't do that. And some of the young people that I'm working with this summer, that is a constant conversation that I'm having with them. So, again, we're going to take a quick break, and I believe one of our authors will be calling in after this commercial break. So stay tuned for that. I'll learn a little bit more about them and their work and their passion and their book. So don't go anywhere. The Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
50s, late 40s, early 50s. That's not uncommon. It's a lot of. I mean, I can give you examples like that.
But it's a good thing he's dead, because she can actually move on. Like, you can't move on. If he was alive, if he was alive and she found out she was having sex with her father for 15 years, you can't move on from that. Somebody's got to die.
You can't. It's gonna be hard.
Somebody's got to die.
So wait, that means he didn't know either, though.
Immediately, so I can stop vomiting, because I don't have nothing else left to vomit. All my insides, all my skeleton. He didn't know either. That's what would be the crazy part. Well, he wouldn't. He still doesn't know, because he's dead. How does that game go? Marry, screw, kill? How does that work when it's your dad? Oh my gosh, we talk about stuff like this and more every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Talk Lately, the radio show. Only on BeExposedRadio.com and on YouTube live, where you can see us.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, you know, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, you know, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like, I've learned I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
Is that really about the pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen,
but
the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you know you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place you, like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate, holding it down like always here on the station. So definitely call in 410-702-5657. Do you have any advice for individuals that take jobs that they are not equipped for, as far as their personality, as far as their attitude, as far as just wanting to be there? What advice would you give to them? Call in 410-702-5657. I'm sorry, I took a bite of a sandwich and it was pretty good. So good. Also, I'm looking for a number of individuals. I'm looking for individuals, period. If you wrote a short play, a short story, I would love to hear it live here on air. So if you are that person, hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I would love to do some live readings on the air. I know Miss Lekesa of one of the shows here on the station. She's a writer. So if you're listening still, definitely hit me up and let's plan some times for you to come on and do your live readings here on air. Also, I'm looking for other artists. So if you want to be featured on the Artist Exchange Radio Show for an interview, hit me up. The Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. Send in your bio, your headshots, links to your social media, so on and so forth, and let us know who you are. Even if you're not in Baltimore, where we broadcast live from, you can definitely do a Skype conversation or a audio call-in conversation. So hit us up, 410-702-5657, or you can send me a message directly at the Artist Exchange Radio Show when we're not live on air. Again, like I said, we are looking for individuals to bring their show here. If you have a radio show, if you have an idea for a radio show, if you already have your own radio show and you're looking for a new platform to promote your show on, to host your show on, definitely hit us up at info@beexposedradio.com. We have a number of awesome shows here on the station, so come join the team. We'd love to have you. I'm trying to pull up some of the posts that we've been having on our Facebook Live. If you didn't know, if you're listening to us on YouTube or via the, you can, somebody on the phone? Hey, caller, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Lekesa Cox.
How's it going?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Lekesa, am I saying it right? Lekesa?
Yep, that's it.
Lekesa Cox, she's one of the authors for the Authors and Empowerment Expo that will be happening in October at Morgan State University with the awesome leader, Miss Patricia Johnson. So you're one of the authors, right?
That's correct, yes.
So briefly tell us a little bit about your book and who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm out of Richmond, Virginia. I have been writing for probably about 20 years. I have several books out, a few adult novels, After the Storm, Water in My Eyes, and Fetish for a Blue Sky are my full-length novels. And then I've contributed to a couple of street novels, anthologies rather, Street Chronicles, Girls in the Game, Street Chronicles, A Woman's Work. Those were by Nikki Turner. I've done a couple of short stories in those. And then I have recently done a short story in a book called The X Chronicles, which was put out last year. My most recent work is a young adult teen novel titled Mulatto Girl Aggie, 13, Name on the Ledger, and it's the book that I'm promoting now, and it's about a teenager from current day who gets transported back to 1816 as a slave, and she needs to learn how to adapt and cope in slave time. So those are my works.
What was your inspiration behind this story?
Well, the new Roots movie came out sometime last year, and I was sitting there watching that movie with my 2 kids, and one of them kept asking me, why won't the slaves fight for themselves? You know, it's more slaves on the plantation. Why won't they fight? And I tried to explain to them a lot of slavery was physical, but a lot of it was also mental. And they just could not wrap their head around the fact that, you know, why won't they fight? So I tried to explain as best as I could, because of course I wasn't a slave, but we know from history we couldn't fight back. You know, we were slaves, and we had to do what they told us to do. And my daughter said, well, if I was a slave, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just fought back. And so that was my inspiration. I said, I don't think any child in this day and age would be able to cope with the mental and physical slavery that our ancestors had to deal with. So I looked at a lot of the young teenagers today, and a lot of them think they're entitled. Not all of them, but we do have a lot of young girls who think the world owes them, and, you know, that everything that they want they can get at the drop of a dime. So I wrote about this little spoiled bratty girl who, you know, she's mad because her parents are going through some financial hardships, but, you know, all she cares about is getting the latest Jordans or a new iPhone. That's the most important thing to her. So she goes back 200 years, and she sees how it is to be a slave, and it makes her realize a lot of those things that she thought were so important to her are not so important at all. So a lot of life lessons in there.
That's a great concept. Being an actor, I did a show called Insurrection Holding History, and it kind of not paralleled your story, but it was kind of in the same lines. The principal character went back in time and realized it ain't what it was, or just because you have the eyes that you have now, your experience won't be any different going back in time. And I like the idea of taking a youthful ignorance and putting it in a space like that, because it shows young people and just people in general, you don't know all, and you don't have all the answers, and just because you have eyes right now, it doesn't mean it will still work out for you. And just to let them know, people did try to fight back. It wasn't something that people just accepted, but they lost their life and families, and as a result of that. But that's an interesting concept. Are you looking to put it in any other platforms, like a play or a movie, or is that something? I would love to put it in a movie platform. I'm actually working on the screenplay right now. I've done another screenplay. I'm kind of entering a lot of screenplay contests, trying to get some feedback on it. But I definitely want to do the screenplay for this book, because I think it's a story that a lot of young people need to hear, really. And if they don't read the book, at least if they see it on a screen, it may hit home for them, and it may reach them, and may help them to think about things a little differently. And I like the and not to compare it to the play that I did, but I think trying to put it into a platform on that level, it would help you flush out some of the ideas that you have, and then that's an in your face live account also. So I would definitely suggest in my own way thinking about that as well, because that's a real in your face platform to be live in your face.
I agree.
But let me know, how long have you been writing?
I've been writing for over 20 years. My first book came out in 95 after the storm, and that's that was just an urban fictional drama, relationship type drama. A few years after I wrote After the Storm, I did Water in My Eyes, and that basically was a book about a woman who has so much going on in front of her, but she refuses to see it, like when her husband is embezzling money, from his job. He goes to prison, and then she also finds out that her best friend and her son has a relationship going on behind her back. So she kind of has to open her eyes to see what's going on in front of her. And I actually wrote Water in My Eyes. That book is based out of Baltimore, so a lot of Baltimore landmarks in that story. And then Fetish for a Blue Sky, I wrote that. That one came out about 5 years ago, and that's about a woman. That's more of an erotic, psychological thriller, a woman who has a fetish for married men. And she juggles a lot of married men, but someone from her past comes back to take revenge on her. So that one kind of takes a real crazy turn, but there's some underlying messages there, too, because people get to see her when they pull back the layers to figure out why she does what she does. Everybody likes to look at the side chick, the side piece, however you want to call them, and talk badly about them, because, I'm married. I've been married for over 20 years, so I don't like to tell the story of a side chick, but the reality is that they exist. So, what is her story? Why does she feel this way? Why is she happier with married men versus having her own monogamous relationship? So, but you get to pull her layers back when she gets into this life-changing event.
How honest are you or balanced in telling stories that don't necessarily reflect your personal experience or your beliefs or values?
I try to stay transparent, and I try to remove my feelings from it, because, again, it was hard writing about a woman who goes after married men when I know how I would feel if someone came after my husband. Right. So you kind of have to remove yourself when you're creating these characters, and I have to be honest, I did not like her for a long time as I wrote her, but I had to remove my feelings so that I could capture her honestly on paper, so that the people could, because of course when you're reading her character, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I cannot stand her. Why is she doing this? But at the same time, she's still a likable person. I mean, she has her own business. She does have a wonderful personality. She has friends. It's just that one piece to her that her friends can't seem to figure out why she does what she does. But again, if you read that book, you'll get to understand her near the end, and then it'll open your eyes to the type of why she is the way she is and why she does what she does.
And you choosing to write these stories that have various plots and characters and points of view, how connected are you personally to the stories in terms of how much of yourself do you put in your books?
I wouldn't say I have captured myself yet. I can say that I do take a lot of what I see around me, people that I know. I do take bits and pieces from family members, friends, because I've had a couple of people say, that sounds like me. It might not be them at 100%, but I do take a little bit of what I know and what I've seen and what I can relate to and put in a book. I haven't told my story yet. I'm still working on building up the courage to tell my actual story, but I do take a lot of what I see and people that I know and
put them in a book. Is there a hesitation, or just, is it a healing process in some of the things that you want to talk about and you just haven't gotten to that point, or is it just you're not ready to tell your story yet?
I think it's probably a combination of all of that, to be honest. It's really scary to kind of put yourself out there and then have to get the feedback from people. And then also I'm nervous because I want to make sure if I tell the story, I want people to realize it's just me telling my story, but not to judge me as well. And then there's a part of me where it should be healing, because I do have a lot of things that have happened in my life growing up that I would like to share, but I just need to get to the point where I wanna go on the nonfiction side and just kind of tell my whole story. I've started working on a story that's closely related to me, so I would be in the book, but it's more about like my father. So I'm still kind of working on maybe easing into doing that to bring me into the story. But again, it's like you said, it's a combination of everything you said.
So we have a couple more minutes, and I want people to know how they could get to your, like, what's your website, how people can find you on social media if they want to purchase your book, or, you know, maybe talk about turning one of your books into a movie again. Like, how would people reach out to you?
I am on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's usually I use my first and last name, and I'll spell it because everybody likes to put an H in my name. They want to call me Lekesa, but you said it perfectly. Thank you. It is LakesaCox on Facebook. Again, it's Lekesa Cox. My website is LakesaCox. www, of course, LekesaCox.com. I'm on Instagram. I am Lekesa is my handle. And on Twitter, I am Lekesa as well. And Facebook is probably my most favorite social media platform. So I'm always wide open when it comes to that. I'll be at, like you said, you mentioned the African American Authors Expo in October. I will be there at Morgan State on October the 7th.
Right.
And then there's also, I'm not sure if your audience is aware, on October 13th through 14th in Bowie, Maryland, there's a Black Authors and Readers Rock type of expo as well. I'll be there signing books.
It's called what's the name of it again?
It's called the Black Authors and Readers Rock.
And Readers Rock Festival. And my last question to you is, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
To follow through with your dream and your goals and not put them on the side burner, to do something different. And I tell my children that too. So, follow your dreams now, don't wait.
It's hard because we have a lot of given circumstances in life, but it's just smart to just push through, buckle down, do the work then. So now you could be living not necessarily more comfortable. It's not going to stop the bumps and hurdles, but prepare yourself for whatever life choices you want to be in. Thank you.
And you made this comment, Nate, and I just want to say this before we drop. You were talking about this earlier. I'd always tell my daughters, you need to prepare now so that you can work your dream job later in life and not have to work a job just
do the work
to
now.
have a job. You know what I mean? You
now.
Prepare yourself now so you can work your dream and not just have a job.
And it's never too late to put in the work now. It's never too late. I don't care how old you are. It's never too late. Thank you, Lekesa. I definitely look forward to meeting you at the Authors Expo and doing some more interviewing with you. So I'll see you then. Much love and much blessing to you, and as you pursue your dreams and writing. And remember, I am an actor when you start doing your casting, so let me know.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
This has been another edition of the Artist Exchange. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show. Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. You become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial, to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be
time
Exposed
on
Radio.
Talk Lately.
He don't have Down syndrome.
Man killed after being shot in Charm City Circulator. That's Derek. It says a 26-year-old man was killed after being shot on the Charm Circulator bus Wednesday afternoon. Police... Oh, that was last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. It wasn't Derek. He did that. His shooting was on Saturday. Police found the victim who had been shot in the stomach at 2:50 p.m. at the bus on the 200 block of South Broadway and Gulf Street.
So he was on
It is over east.
Yeah, it's the one that's coming from John Hopkins.
Police believe the suspect and victim argued, then got onto the bus.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Again, that was Miss Lekesa Cox. We'll be posting her book and such on our Instagram as well as our Facebook page, the Artist Exchange group page. So, again, if you are an individual looking for a way to either promote your business or expand your brand, we have awesome packages here at the Artist Exchange Radio Show to help you promote your business, to help you promote your brand. So definitely stay tuned for that. Stay locked in for that. We have another author that's about to call in. So definitely stay tuned. Oh, I think that's her. Hello, caller. How's it going?
Hello.
Is this Miss Carolyn?
Yes, it is.
How's it going today?
It's going well. How about with you?
I am doing awesome, phenomenal. I cannot and will never complain. Too much good going on. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your book?
Yes. My name is Carolyn Austin, and I have written my first book, and the title is Prayers of My Mother.
And what is this book detailing? Tell us a brief story of it.
Yes. For some reason, you're going in and out. Can you hear me?
If you are listening to us on your phone, or if you have it on and you're calling, you have to turn the video off because it interferes with your speaker, so it'll go in and out.
Okay. Okay, I hear you much better now. Thank you.
I understand.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your book.
Yes, Prayers of My Mother is a life-changing healing project, and it began approximately 3 years ago when one of my childhood friends was experiencing side effects from a really bad divorce, and I believed she was suicidal. And she asked me that if I would pick her children because she was just really down and depressed. And she said to me that she wished that my mother could pray for her. Well, my mother has Alzheimer's now, and she's no longer praying for people because at one point in her life, and pretty much the majority of her life, she was a prayer warrior and prayed for whoever would ask her.
Right.
So I told my friend that, well, my mom can't pray for you, so I'll pray for you. So I began sending my friend text messages each night to help her get through and cope. And the following 2 months, I had 2 friends, one each month, call me with something similar, being very depressed and suicidal. So at that point, I was like, okay, Lord, what's going on? So I began praying for all 3 of them, and my circle grew, and the prayers became a nightly email. And so right now I have 76 people that I email each night a prayer. and I've been doing it over 3.5 years, so I have over 1,000 prayers. So actually, Prayers of My Mother is now, a book, because after writing the prayers for about 6 months, my readers started telling me how much the prayers really helped them. So I started saving the prayers, and I decided in June last year, when my mother's health took a turn for the worse, as I was sitting in her hospital room, the title Prayers of My Mother was born, and I was determined to get the book finished before, because I thought she was dying. And so she's still living. I was able to give her the book June 12th, 2017. I gave her the book, and so I accomplished my goal. And so now my group, they pre-ordered the book. The book actually released on yesterday, July 14th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so members of my group, I sold in pre-orders approximately 150 books pre-ordered. And so my members of my group have been reading it, and the people they gave it to have been reading it, and I've been getting really positive, really good and positive feedback from the book, and how much it's touched people. It's helped them to pray more, because the book is really filled with inspirational prayers, and it includes, prayers on subjects like love relationships, depression, faith, addiction, just anything that we may have as a challenge in life. And I also included my own personal stories to help inspire other people, because if I can get through it, you can get through it type of thing. So
is it written
basically
in like the format of a devotional?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is definitely, it's like you can use it for daily devotionals, Bible study, guidance with life experiences, just to name a few. And I ended up adding my own journey, because reading the Bible every night, because I would give a scripture to my group every night as well. So the book format is really a scripture, then I'll give a life story or anecdote or something that somebody else was struggling with that goes along with the scripture. And I've been told that my life experience and anecdotes that I've shared in the book kind of brings the scripture to present day life. So it made the, learning the Bible and reading the Bible, more interesting, instead of people just, normally reading it as they would have before. By me adding life stories and challenges, just kind of makes it more interesting, and that's the type of feedback I've been getting.
And it makes the word more applicable to real life scenarios, because people aren't often able to take the stories of the Bible as fables and connect it that way. So they read it as it is, and they don't have and most of us don't have the understanding to divide the word or apply it and take from it what we need from it. So doing that and connecting it to real life experiences often helps the non-believer or the one just in transition or the new believer. It helps to apply it to what is going on, specifically young readers as well. It helps them to connect it to what is really going on, because often the stories of the Bible are taken literally. And that, I don't have a sheep and a herd of cattle right now, so I can't relate to that story, So applying it to real life can often help people to able to translate the Bible a lot easier.
Yes, that is correct, and that's exactly the type of feedback I've been getting. You said that very well. Thank you.
That's why I love devotionals, because devotionals often help you to read the word and then translate it to what's connected to yourself personally, without feeling like you're dumb or you don't get it. How long did it take you to write this book?
It took approximately 10.5 months to actually compile the different scriptures that I already had, because again, I have over 1,000 of them. So once the readers would tell me that a certain prayer that I sent out was really inspirational for them, I used those prayers to compile the book. I used my own personal stories to compile the book, and The book is divided into 5 sections, and one section is about love relationships, because we all struggle with those.
Right.
The beginning of the book is about your assignment and your calling. So, and then the last part of the book is about getting ready for the coming of the Lord.
So, did you intend to write a book? I mean, like prior to this, was this something you always wanted to do, or did it just come out of necessity in this moment?
It really came out of necessity at this moment. I really had no intention of writing a book, and when my prayers began helping people as much as they told me that they were, and when my mom, health went, took a turn for the worse, and because she was really the inspiration for the book, I decided that I need to do this, so at least I can tell people about my mother. I can tell people how she touched and affected my life, and how now I can touch and affect other people's lives. So it kind of just evolved.
What advice would you give to individuals that are that a calling is being delivered to them, and often we hear stuff, but we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to manifest it or take it to another level, or you caught the patterns that were happening to you in your life, but nothing said write a book. Nothing in that said write a book. So how did you get from those patterns to what you are actively doing, and then translating that into a blessing that now everybody can take a piece of it?
I think that the best way to answer that is, as I continuously did the nightly devotionals, and the people kept giving me feedback about how, some particular prayer really touched them, right. I began to just feel compelled to get this book done. And I started calling it my divine assignment. And so it just kind of took a life of its own. So I think that when you need to do something, when it's your time to do something, and that's how I felt. I felt like I need to get this done. I was determined. Once I started, I was determined to get it done, and what pushed me even more because my mom's health was failing, and I really wanted to be able to give it to her. So I think that's the key. If you know inside that you have to do something, you just walk that path. You step right into it. So I think that's what happens when we're inspired spiritually by the Holy Spirit. Right. Whatever it is, you just start walking in it, and that's what happened to me. I just started walking in it, and I watched my life change. Right.
But you were active in the pursuit of what the goal was. It wasn't just you heard it and you just wrote a book, but you actively kept pursuing that thing that you were doing anyway. Like you kept sharing your prayers. You kept doing the job that was called to you. The book wasn't necessarily the calling. The book was just the result of it. But you did what you were supposed to do in that moment to make the book even possible.
Yeah, that's another good way of putting it, because really and truly, I had said I was only going to do the prayers for about a year. And it's been 3.5 years now. And what motivates me is because the people call me and they tell me how much it helps them. So I can't say I'm an expert in prayer. I can just say that my prayers have helped people. And that motivated me. So that's why I have not stopped, because if people, if prayer, that helps them to have faith and encouraged and, with their struggles to keep pushing, then that's what I'm going to do.
And you never know. People just never know where certain things will take them. And we get this urge to do this one thing, and you realize it's a good thing, and you keep doing it, and most people stop in that process because they don't see the result, or they don't see the end result of what this could possibly do. But when you get that type of calling and you get that nerve to actually do it, see it through. The mission will become clear, but just keep doing it. What advice would you give to people that are in that space themselves? And it could, because it could get discouraging. 3 years into this, it can get a little daunting. Like, I got to do this every night. Like, maybe I want to choose myself tonight. Like, what advice would you give to people to keep going and keep pushing? Because you never know what may end up or the end result may be.
I think that just knowing that people look for your prayer every night or look for whatever that special thing is that you're doing, you know, they depend on it. Right. You know, that motivated me because, like I said, I did plan to only do it for a certain period of time, and here it is 3.5 years now. The other thing I was going to say is that you will, if you're doing something that needs to be done or it's manifesting itself, you'll keep getting that inspiration while you're doing it. It's funny, I was just telling my sister today that when I think back over the 10 months when I decided to write the book, different sections of the book just came to me to sit down and write it. Like the introduction. One day I just wrote the introduction. Another day I wrote the table of contents. You know, another day, you know, I wrote something else, you know. In the back of the book is about my mother. You know, that was like the last thing that came out, you know, about that I decided, I got to talk about my mom and my grandmother. And so those different sections just came to me. So my advice is that when you get that push and that urge to do something, don't ignore it. Just do it because you don't know what it's going to manifest to. So when I decided to put the book together, then when I saw the different sections that were required for the book, I was like, oh, I already got that. I wrote that already. Oh, I got the table of contents. I'm ready. And even when I was writing, exactly, when the table of contents was already itemized for me, then I was able to turn around and look for prayers that talked about faith, that talked about, you know, love relationships, that talked about, you know, depression or addiction. You know, I was able to just go find prayers once I had that table of contents because I had them. You know, not even knowing I had them, but I had them. So it just kind of fell into place. So that's why, that's when you know. That's when you know this is what you need to be doing because it just falls into place. If just God wants you to do something, that's what's going to happen. That's right. If He wants you to do something, that's what's going to happen.
Because often we try to fight against it and lean on our own understanding of what we're supposed to be doing from what we've seen in other people. And sometimes your journey is just your journey. And it manifests itself in how you see it through. And you just keep pushing. And sometimes that road is really dark. And you don't see the next step. And you just got to keep doing what comes natural, what comes instinctually in you. And just keep pushing. You know, sometimes we try to find too much understanding and clarity in a situation, and we don't really give enough attention to just instinct and just letting the Spirit just guide you through it. I'll ask you another question. Was you able to get a response from your mother, or what was her reaction to you presenting this book to her?
Okay, you kind of broke up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Were you able to get a response from your mom, or what was her reaction to this book?
Well, like I said, my mom has Alzheimer's, and she has moments of clarity. Right. So it's a good question because when I presented my mom this book on June the 12th, what I decided to do is I decided to read the excerpt from the book that was like her motto for me. And it is called, and it is in the book, a section called Don't Eat Your Vomit. And so that was the first section that I read to my mom, and I was so amazed that she related because, you know, you don't know if you're going to catch her at the right moment. Right. But she actually laughed, and when I read the excerpt to her and everything, and so I was just really, really pleased, and I have it on video, so that was her response. You know, she related. It's like she remembered, and we connected on that day, so that was just a blessing for me. And then you asked me about my mom. Is just being able to watch my mom's face during the years, and I remember her praying for people as young as about 15 years old. And so, you know, back then it was like, okay, you know, this is kind of different. I'm a teenager, and I'm seeing people come to the house and get prayed for. And, you know, I'm not really thinking anything of it. And then now we fast forward and look what I'm doing. And so, and I'm doing it on a different level now because, you know, we have the internet now and we have text messaging and emailing and stuff. And people were actually physically coming to our house when I was a teenager. So it just was kind of surreal for me to realize that, oh, my God, I'm now my mother. Not planning to do it at all. And the catapult was one of my friends coming to me needing prayer.
Have you thought about, say, starting from beginning to end over time and reading this out loud and seeing her response and getting that captured? as part of like a video journal of just exposing her to this entire book?
I've been reading different parts of it to her, but that is something I could do because, you know, she's here now and she's still hanging in there and she's 90 years old now. So that just may be a very good idea. Thank you for suggesting it.
Just as a kind of a full capsule of this experience, because she was definitely the catalyst and the inspiration for this, and matched with your talent and your attention to keeping it moving, just that reaction and that space of it just being you and her and hearing the story, and as she goes through this next transition of her life, just being able to absorb it. And we think people in that state, they don't get it. It's just they're getting it on their own time in their own way. But just being able to see yourself at some point and your children and just people in general being able to see that happen right before your eyes. Like, it's moments that I wish I would have, at the time, I wish I would have had that technology, because I grew up with a great-grandmother, and we shared a lot, and a lot of those things are just memories, you know, that I'm having. But I wish I would have had that opportunity to document things in a way where my nieces and cousins that weren't born or didn't know who she was would be able to get to know her. And maybe something may come out of her, you know, of response, you know, and you'll get more clarity as to why this is happening and why you had to really do this, and kind of passing it down from one person to another person.
Yeah, you're making a very good point. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you're making a very good point. Just being able to recapture the time that, you know, you can't now, and I really appreciate that suggestion. I had been reading excerpts to her in moderation because I know of her condition.
Right.
But, you know, you just made a point. You never know that even if I just read it, she may, you know, be able to go back and remember it at some point, you know, and that's a good idea.
And you just, I'm an actor and a director, so, you know, I see stuff when people talking to me. I see pictures and, you know, I see the end result, and sometimes, and it just, you never know. Like, it was a video I watched at one point, and it was an old, a young lady who was a dancer during like the Harlem Renaissance, and again she was going through Alzheimer's, and they played the video clips that they found of her dancing, and she was in, like, she was having some weak moments and some weaker moments, but her watching it, as she was watching it, you saw her regain memory and understanding, and she began to smile, and you saw her fingers tapping. So she wasn't alert in terms of what we would want her to be, what her family wanted her to be alert as, but she was getting it in her own way. And you never know how things can turn around, or, you know, you wasn't expecting for her to be here in this moment to get this much of it. So it would be something probably that you could keep forever and pass it on, so people get a better understanding of what this process was and why it was. But that's just my creative energy flowing in that moment, and based on what you're telling me.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Anytime. How could people reach you if they wanted to purchase your book, if they wanted to get into your mailing list, your emailing list, to get there?
Yes, I have a web. Yes, sir. I have a website, prayersofmymother.com.
Okay.
prayersofmymother.com, and I have a contact page on there. They can give me their information and, you know, make a request that way. Okay. I am also on Instagram, carolyn.l.austin. I am on Twitter at Carolyn L. Austin, the number 2. And I am on Facebook, simply Carolyn Austin.
Awesome. One of our listeners, I have a great testimony that I would like to share as well. I am too an author and have written 15 books. God is awesome, and my testimony is very powerful and inspirational. They suggest that you keep moving, and they thank you for encouraging people in the way that you have. I think this is a awesome, not only dedication to the relationship that you have with your mother and the work that she's been able to do, but it is a testament of just faith and just keeping it going. Most people would have gotten discouraged or be like, man, it's not going to be much. But you saw it through, and it's not finished. It doesn't seem like this journey is finished. So I definitely continue to encourage you, and however we could help you here at the Artist Exchange to keep it pushing and keep it moving. But I thank you for giving that type of inspiration to individuals who, have family members like you have, and they don't know how to showcase their love for them or kind of regurgitate, if you will, the lessons that they've been taught by that person or that individual. But this is definitely a great example of how to pay homage to those who have given us so much and passed down so much to us.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're going to end with one. My last question to you would be, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
I think that I would have talked with my mother more about what she was doing. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate to me now that, she's at a point where she can barely remember that time period now. She still remembers her kids, on some days, better than others. Right. But I regret not talking to her more about her assignment, But now I'm, pretty much living her assignment on a different level now. So that's what I regret.
Thank you so much, Miss Carolyn. And like I said, anything that we can do to continue to help you push your mission and push your work and helping you, definitely let me know. And we're here for you when you want to come back on and share more of your stories. And I would love to do some live readings from your book. And I'll definitely look forward to seeing you in October at the Authors Expo. Much love and many blessings to you.
Thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be blessed.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
This has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We're going to come back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. The Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Woo!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto Marcy Avenue.
Just broke up
and go past the first 3 lights and then take the next left.
I don't really
drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat, and apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I don't know why I think I can go without wearing my glasses. I tried to, and it just doesn't work. So I'm here, and my guest right now is not a guest. She's actually the production assistant. So you get to see the young lady that you are talking to all the time. And she is in charge now of doing production. I'm trying to figure out how to keep her. So I'm going to start a GoFundMe to keep Kara, Smoot, and Eric and such on the team so they don't run off and do other stuff that I know that they really want to do. But I'm being selfish in this moment and that I don't want them to go. But not that Eric, because Eric ain't say nothing to me. So he's not even on the roster, but I'm just saying. But doing the radio show has been very rewarding to me, and it really has meant a lot to me in me coming out of my proverbial shell, if you will. And I've really valued the time that has been put in to this, the painstaking hours of attention that I've put into it, and everybody that helps to continue to support it. But how have you liked being here on the Artist Exchange at Be Exposed so far?
Well, this is certainly a new experience. Like, no, it's a good thing too. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm just meeting so many people, so many diverse talents around here. Mm-hmm. And like just the act of like booking guests, like having someone like confirm saying like, yeah, I'm gonna come on. I'm just like, oh, I did that.
Mm-hmm. So what have you gotten from it so far outside of just meeting new people and connecting with what you want to do? What have you gotten out of it?
Definitely with time management. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm at this point where it's like I know like my limits. Like I can't, like spend all night watching Netflix.
You can, but you got to be able to multitask.
Yeah, it's like I have to, I have to get this done. Mm-hmm. And then, I have to put my priorities first, which is, the show.
So school learning about applying these things, but actually doing it, it's a big difference.
It is.
Most times our professors teach us what it is that we're doing, but the application process is often missing. Even for me, I was in a performance major. The application of actually being an actor is totally different from you telling me how to be a good actor. Yeah. It's totally different because I got to go on interviews. I got to find alternate ways to be an actor. I got to find out what to do when I didn't get the role. Like, all those things are not in that course, that syllabus. So figuring out how to make sure you keep this going is the job, becomes the job. Getting the job is the job, and then maintaining it is the the extra credit of the job.
Yeah, you're not going to be writing papers.
Right, you're not. I mean, it makes sense that people get internships and they do extra things because that helps you to apply what you learn in the lecture to practical life, like the practical life of it all. And it's not, you don't learn some of this stuff. And you have to really humble yourself in the learning process because people don't get this part of it. It's hard.
It is.
Like, this is hard because it's every day.
Yeah.
It's every day. I always wanted to be a teacher, and this summer experience for me, I'm used to going to a school like midday, maybe like 3 or 4-ish, and being there for like 2 hours, no more than 3, maybe 2 classes. And this year, I got a taste of what it was like to do an entire day. And this summer, I got a taste of to do it a whole day, every day. And it takes you to a level of being tired that you can't possibly explain in words, because I get up every morning, and I'm used to getting up early, but not doing the same thing. So the routine of things starts setting in, and you have to make it interesting to yourself. And I mean, that's the flip side of actually doing what it is that you're teaching. You would think that would make you tired, but just the routine of doing it 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday. It was like, this would have been like, this is what my life would have been like. That's why I said I couldn't do it. Like, I could not teach algebra, every day for a whole school. I would go crazy. I would literally go crazy. And it made me value what it is that I really wanted to do. And it shows me how certain, especially on a collegiate level, professors are bitter because they've had to choose this route because this didn't work, or their faith wasn't strong enough to make that work. So now they're teaching it. Yeah. And you get a bitterness if you're not actually out there doing it. So it gave me a bigger respect and a bigger push to get out there and do what it is that I want to do, opposed to just telling somebody else how to do it. But that's rewarding to me. But I know now, like, I only want to teach young people that I know about. I don't want to teach people who just, they didn't have anything else to do this class period. Right. I don't want to do that. I know, and I don't mind teaching people who discover that that's what they want to do. But I just know I find more emphasis in showing people who want to do it, are doing it, and just want to be more advanced in it. I like that part of it. That's what, and the other part is it's a challenge for me, and I'm not going to stop doing that, but I'm not going to do that as much because I just know that ain't my field. Right. And I'm not going to put myself in a field where I'm babysitting or I'm trying to encourage you or trick you or push in your head what my passion is. I want to introduce you to it, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, hey, thank you for taking this class. Choose another one. Right.
The great thing about this show is, like, it's something new each day. It's like deal with different people.
The Lord, it's the Lord all over the place, but it all has purpose. It really has purpose. It does. I think a lot of people don't get what the Artist Exchange really is. For me, it definitely is just that melting pot, like you just said, that melting pot of experiences and interactions and this conversation that you don't get from going to talking to this lady about praying today, from yesterday talking to a gentleman about Black Lives versus all lives. Like, any day, like, that's, my mind changes that often. Like, right now what I'm thinking is totally different than what I'm gonna be thinking in 10 minutes, and that's just my creative energy, and I just like that. It is. I mean, it's a little, it's a controlled chaos, but it's chaos nevertheless. But that's just a creative mind, and I allow myself to be creative, and I don't try to box it anymore. Try to be more methodical with, right. Yeah, I just let it go, and then I do what it is that needs to be done in order, so I can control it a lot better. Because it used to be awful. Because my mind would just be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up doing something,
same thing.
Right? And I need to be asleep.
You gotta write it down too, like that idea, like as much as
just write it down. You ain't gotta do it right now. Just write it down. Write it in as much detail as you possibly can. Right. So when you pick it back up, you know where you left off at. Right, as opposed to just writing down 2 words and you look in the morning like, what the hell was I talking about? But we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
Focus on the word take for a moment.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, when I begin to just, think about take, when you taking something. Yes, you know, we think about, you know, the possession and grab and hold, but when you taking something on, you're capturing it, you're securing it, and you become impregnated with that.
Wow.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial.
Her view.
It's
That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did the reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a Dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talked about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already.
She's irrelevant.
I said it once.
Dash. Dot. So, I couldn't have meant that more. She is so irrelevant. I'm not even gonna say her name. But we're here every Tuesday, and we talk about people just like that at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Kara cannot sit still. She's back to work. She's doing her job. So if you want to keep Kara on like I want to keep Kara on, send your support. We need your sponsorship. We have awesome packages and services to help you promote and further push your brand, your service, your products, your upcoming events. If you want to just donate to the show, I would appreciate that beyond measure. Definitely hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, or you can call me directly, 443 do I know my number? 443-418-8168. And I'm going to take a quick moment to just thank everybody that continues to support. On the thread, I see my cousin, Miss Ravenette Jackson, Team Nate, thank you. Lekesa Love Dawn. I see you watching. Miss Elaine has joined the conversation. Thank you all for continuing to support, because this could be very hard to continue to do. So this is family that's watching the show now. So I definitely love everybody that continues to help and support the show. But we have our final author joining us now on the phone. Hello, caller. Hello, author.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you. So if you can just jump right into the conversation, tell us who you are, and just a brief introduction of your book and what it's about.
Sure. Well, my name is Patricia Johnson Harris. I am the founder of the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo. Actually, this year is going to be our 8th year hosting the Authors Expo in October.
Yes.
I'm also, I'm also a co-author of a book called Shift On. It's an anthology of 20 authors just going through their life stories about how they overcame challenges. So excited about that as well.
Now, first of all, you're not just going to call in like you just a regular author and you just, just a part of this. This is the organizer of the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo. She is boss lady calling in. She kind of tried to sneak in there for a second. But I am really happy to be working with you again this year and helping to expose and spotlight your authors for this expo. First of all, that was my first one last year. I had an awesome time, a phenomenal experience. It was so much. talking to people and interviewing people is on one-on-one, but when you're in a whole room full of people, phenomenal. I have developed some great relationships with some of your authors. Shout out to Ms. Richburg. Definitely been a blessing to me. And a number of your authors, actually. So thank you again for coming back this year with the Artist Exchange and working with us and allowing us to help you promote your authors and your awesome expo. I had to say that, first of all.
No, I appreciate that, and you're absolutely right. You know, the office and empowerment, and I really want to emphasize empowerment.
Yes.
Expo is really about networking. You know, when you come there, it's not really just about, I mean, it's definitely about meeting the authors, buying the books, but it's about networking with other people, talking to like-minded people, just fellowshipping with people, if you will, because you really never know who you're going to run into, you know, if you guys have the same interests or not. You know, maybe they have associates or things that could support what you're trying to do. You know, maybe they have visions that's the same as your visions, and the two of you can get together and collaborate on things. So that's one of the really key things about the expo, is that it's definitely a great opportunity for people to come out and network. So I'm excited about that. And all the authors that you mentioned that now you're friends with, you're connecting with, have been a part of the expo for years. You know, they understand what it's about and how important just networking with people really is. And that's what the foundation of the expo really is an opportunity for everybody to kind of come out and network with one another. So we loved having you guys there. We're excited about being there for 2017. And just to let everyone know, it's October the 7th. It's going to be at Morgan State University in the Student Center building. And it's from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. But any information about the expo can always be found on our website, which is www.AAA, which is African American Authors, and then Expo. So www.AAAEXPO.net.
Okay.
Let's always find the information there. But yeah, we're super excited about it. I'm excited that the show is actually highlighting some of the authors that are participating in the expo. I just was listening to the interview with Carolyn, you know.
Yes.
And so that was a pretty powerful testimony that she was giving as well.
Awesome.
So there's over 40 authors that have their own stories to tell, you know. And we have every genre of book at the expo. So you got your Christian books, you got your self-help books, you got your sci-fi books, you know, you got your inspirational books, you got your health books, and your children's books, you know. So there's a variety of different types of books that anyone can actually come and find at the Authors Expo.
And speaking of the different types of books, last year we had a cookbook by the late Prodigy. How did you take the news once hearing about his passing?
I was heartbroken. You know, I was heartbroken, but at the same time, I was grateful because I got the opportunity to just meet him less than a year ago.
Right.
We talked for a good little while. You know, we was able to present him with a citation and with an award. And the first thing he said when he got the citation was, "My mom is going to be so proud of me. My grandmom is going to be so proud of me." You know, so he was expecting those things on their behalf. You know, and just was the most kindest, simplest person that, you know, a rapper, you know, at that, you know.
A legend at his game.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it was a blessing, you know. And then when I was, like, looking on social media, a lot of the people that were posting pictures with Prodigy were at the expo. You know, these were pictures that they took of him at the expo, you know. So that's another great opportunity, is to be able to come out and meet some of our featured authors, you know, and some of our panelists. You know, we have an awesome lineup this year. But back to that, I definitely missed him already. I didn't know him very long. I knew his music forever, but definitely missed him already, and was grateful I got the opportunity to, you know, really connect with him.
And what I've been saying to a number of authors that I've been meeting in terms of sending them your way, you never know what you're going to get at this conference. You know, we didn't find out until the very last minute that Prodigy and Freeway would be there, but just the workshops that are there, don't miss it, because you're going to meet individuals, like you said, networking with them, and build really strong relationships. first of all, the number of books I read on a regular basis, but I read more for my art. But I've read so many phenomenal books by people that I probably wouldn't not have picked up their books or came across them in general. But definitely the number of books. Actually, one of your authors and myself will be working on my story. So you never know what you're gonna get from that. So I'll be signing up shortly to get my own table.
One of the things I tell authors, no matter what event they're at, whether it's my expo or someplace else, get up and talk to people. You don't necessarily have to sit behind your table all day.
Yes. Find somebody to do that for you.
Because had they came over and spoke to you, they would have realized, oh, okay, he has his own radio show. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to talk. Possibly I can get an interview. There's just so many avenues and opportunities, but you got to put the effort in actually talking to people and networking and hello and shaking their hands. And you never know who that other person is that is standing in front of you until you actually speak to them.
So if you haven't already heard about it, definitely get to the Authors Expo. And you said that's October the 2nd, right?
Correct. October the 7th, we're kicking off Morgan's homecoming week, because their homecoming week is it starts the very next day.
There we go.
So it's October the 7th, yes.
There we go. I will be there bright and early this time. I'm not going to let the race interfere with my time there. Phenomenal experience. If you haven't already been, definitely make this your first time. Get out there. And are you still accepting authors, or that's cut off until next year?
Yes, we are until July 30th.
Okay, so they got until July 30th to sign up. What would they have to do in terms of contacting you?
Yes, they can go to the website again, www.aaaexpo.net. You can also look us up on Facebook, African American Authors Expo, or they can contact me directly at 443-421-2070. And like I said, we're planning to close registration around July the 30th.
Okay.
And people who just want to attend the expo is absolutely free for the day, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we have tons of workshops, speaking session. We got a powerhouse panel of pastors. They're going to be speaking to positioning yourself to live without limits. 5 powerhouse pastors on one panel that's just really talking to you about finding your path. What is your destiny? What is your purpose? And sometimes many of us get confused about what it is that we're here to do. How do I go about doing it? And then there's a group of us that are afraid to try what it is. We're afraid to fail. So this panel of pastors is actually going to walk us through how to live without limits.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to bring some back up this time, because I'm going to sit in on these workshops this year. I got a taste of all of them, but I'm going to definitely be sitting in them myself this year as well. Thank you again. And again, whatever we can do to help you, we're always here to help you and continue to pass on and pass the message for you. Thank you again for calling in. And she tried to sneak in there, y'all, but I caught it. Thank you again.
From your side. All right, thank you.
Okay. That's Miss Pat Johnson of the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo, happening October the 7th at Morgan State University, the Student Center, 1 to 5 p.m. Be there. That's it. The Artist Exchange is going to be there. We're going to post more information on their event and allow people to be able to get there. If you are an author, you have until the 30th of this month to definitely register. So get in there. Get your books in there. Awesome, phenomenal, not only just selling your books, but networking with other authors, other readers, just people you never know who's going to be in that room. So we'll try to get out of Miss Johnson what's coming up next and who's some sneak peeks, but she's probably going to let us know that closer to the date. But definitely, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, oh gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
So you're your biggest asset. Mm-hmm. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. Toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? Mm-hmm. And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m.
New season of Talk Lately with Monty, when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be. You're live on the air. I told you about your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holliday situation, I know
I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. And we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing because it's in my heart. and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to...
Yeah, well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand 100% where Jennifer Holliday is coming from.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? This is Nate back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Miss Kara Smoot.
Hey, you guys.
The production assistant here. Of course, Hollywood is somewhere filming across seas and, jumping down the Alps and skiing and all that, parachuting. You never know where he is. I think he's an FBI agent.
Did he just do a music video?
I think that's what he's at.
I saw when he was at the pool.
Yeah, relaxing at the pool. That's what he's doing. But shout out to everyone. Can you pull yours up? Is there any other messages on there differently? Because I think I'm on. So again, there are plenty of ways for you to be able to get to our show. You can go directly to the website at www.beexposedradio.com. You can go to YouTube and go to our channel, click subscribe, and you'll be able to get the alert whenever the Artist Exchange Radio Show is coming on. You can also go to Facebook Live. And click subscribe. Go to our page and you'll get the alert when our show comes on as well. So join the page, the Artist Exchange Radio Show, as well as our group page. Our group page is for artists, entrepreneurs, and community leaders to promote their businesses, their products, their services in a group full of people. I think it's like close to 3,500 people in there, over 3,500 people now in that group, so that you can promote and market your business, to network. Don't just post your stuff in these groups. Get into the culture of them, talk to people, like other people's pages, comment, actually read other people's posts. Do the work. Part of marketing and promotion and sales is you have to actively be in pursuit of what you're doing, and just randomly just liking stuff for the sake of somebody can like your stuff, then nobody's reading it. So there's no sales are happening at that moment. But again, my cousin Miss Ravenette Jackson, my big cousin, Missy Lane, all these people, Ferrari, Alvin Ashbury, Yolanda Barty, my friend Mr. Lavelle, Casey Campbell. Thank you all for tuning in to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Today's been a phenomenal show in that we have been talking to a number of authors, and we talked to the Patricia Johnson, author Patricia Johnson, organizer of the African Americans Authors and Empowerment Expo. So that is an awesome feat. Last week, we got to go to the Art Rising 1 year anniversary. When I say the Downtown Cultural Art Center was packed to capacity, we got a number of performances from people all over. There was a gospel trap artist. Like, it was just a lot going on, just everything at one time. I'm looking for some interesting things to do this week. So if you got an event coming up this weekend, send me some information. I'll definitely get out to it. I'll try my best to be there. Disclaimer, I got messages or people try to call me out when I don't come to stuff. First of all, let me explain something to you. I don't sit at home twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to invite me somewhere. Like, I'm actively in pursuit of my goals and my dreams, so I'm already out there. I'm probably up before you get up, and I go to bed after you go to bed often. But I can't make everything. I'm one individual, so I can't make it to every single thing. I do my best to support. I may buy a ticket to something, but don't expect for me to come to your event and promote it if you ain't put in the work in helping me sponsor my show. This platform cannot continue going just off the strength of me wanting to do it. Like, if you want to continue for this platform to be available for you and your artists and other artists, and so you can have a place to come promote your work, you gotta sow into it. You know, you got to make sure that this platform stays here. And that's not all your responsibility, but it's a collective responsibility. Just like some of the events that I love going to, I have to continue to go there and buy tickets. I can't ask for free tickets. I can't just, you know, come late. I got to be active in pursuing the things that I want in life and keeping those things going. You know, things don't just stay up. Just like your favorite restaurant, you ain't been there in 3 months and you go there and there's a whole nother restaurant there and you mad. Well, you didn't help support that restaurant. You didn't keep the doors open. You didn't, you know, send people there. You didn't go there on a daily basis. And I know money is tight for everybody, and you want to make sure your money is going to things that are going to definitely be there for you in support of you. But you got to learn how to give a little, and that blessing will definitely be returned to you probably tenfold, sevenfold in your life. You know, but you can't just expect for something to be there because it's supposed to be there, and just expect for it to be my responsibility to keep it here to help you out. You know, you gotta, it's a give and take type of situation. Any last minute remarks, rants, Miss Smoot?
Let me get started. I'm gonna crack my knuckles. But yeah, everyone, please like our page, the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Visit us. Join our group. We have so many like exciting talents around. Just, you know, make sure you like everything.
There you go. And what are you doing? Real quick, we got a couple more seconds. What are you doing? What's new for you?
Whoa, I did a few photo shoots.
Okay.
For the Maya Baraka camp.
There we go. There we go. There
that was
we
pretty
go.
lit.
Pretty lit. Pretty lit. They're still asking about it.
Millennial language.
Right. They asking about where are the pictures at?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, girl. It's. I'm gonna post them.
Yes, thank you. But what? So this is your final year. You're going into your final semester. She goes to UB. She majors in media. It's media marketing,
digital
communications, marketing, and sales, and all those different things. So definitely stay tuned. We're trying to keep her here, like we are. So just send out good vibrations.
Give us money, please.
Yes, send money so we can afford to keep Miss Smoot around. So sponsorship helps with that. So we need your sponsorship. So. This has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Join us next Friday when we'll have Miss Cheryl Weems and another surprise guest. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then coming up next at 5 o'clock here on the station, we have the Charm City Direct Radio Show. So stay locked in. Definitely like all our pages. Go to our Be Exposed page, like the page, so you'll get an alert when any of the shows come up. And last but certainly not least, sponsorship. If you want us to help you promote your work, promote your services, your products, your upcoming events, definitely hit us up, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, or you can call me directly at the 443-418-8168, and we can discuss some awesome packages that we have to help you effectively and affordably I stumbled over that one, to promote your work. Very cost effective, not cheap, but cost effective ways that will fit any budget. We can come up with a nice package deal to help you promote your work. So stay locked in. 5 p.m. Charm City Direct, and our show next Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artists, real talk, real live. The Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream venue, where would that be? Like, some people want to do Carnegie Hall or like a big stadium somewhere.
I want to go with Madison Square. I wanna feel that building.
So you just gonna shoot for the moon.
I want to feel it. I want to look out and just
feel the vibration of all of those people there to be uplifted and all of that, 'cause that's what I want to do for people.
So are you dancing? Are you...
I want to implement that. I think I want to start doing some blocking, like not like tear it up, but just like a
little 1-2, 1-2.
Hell, a little, not voguing, but kind of the essence of it. Very posy and hit the mark. Yeah, we're not trying to like bust out sweats.
So that means you don't have the dance gene and you.
I can dance.
Okay,
that's
not what I
was
doing.
I can dance, but I'm not, trying to give that. That's not my lane. I want to keep it really kind of a retro feel with like the new school with a retro feel. Like
okay. Little bandy soul.
Yeah.
People gonna start using that.
Right. And they should.
Little bandy soul.
Yeah.
But just mark it so people know, like this was mine.
This where it came from. Because people was queens out here now that was princesses last week. They was princesses before my album dropped. Now they queen or something. Like, pinky up.
I cannot. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.